RealAgriculture.com's coverage of Agritechnica 2023 in Hanover, Germany is brought to you by Optimum Glide, a new canola trait technology from Corteva Agriscience. Sean Haney here with Real Agriculture, and we're at Agritechnica 2023 in Hanover, Germany, brought to you by Optimum Glide, a new canola trait technology from Corteva Agriscience. And right now we're in the FarmDroid booth, a very cool robot behind us. I'm joined by Eddie from FarmDroid. Eddie, how's it going?
Pretty good. I'd say we started here yesterday, and it's been we were really overwhelmed yesterday about the interest and so on. So that's been really good start.
Awesome, great stuff. Okay, so this is a product actually that has been sold into the Canadian market. You do have some customers in Canada. What is this Droid doing?
So basically, it is the best way to describe it is that it's a seeding and weeding robot. So the whole concept with the robot is that it will do the seeding first, or the planting, I think you would say in the US or in Canada and the US. So it will do the seeding and planting first, and then afterwards it remembers the position of each individual seed and can then go on to do the weeding both between the rows, so inter-row, but also intra-row between the plants. And then our latest addition, which we are presenting here at Agritechnica this year, is our spot spraying system, where the robot can now do both seeding and planting, and it could do. When I say planting, then I mean seeding, right? So it's just to be 100% clear, we can't do transplanting, but it's doing seeding, weeding, spot spraying. And then also we have a camera system on the robot now for transplants as well.
Wow. Okay. So when it's doing the seeding, is it where is the seed being stored?
Yeah. So it has the unit here behind us now is a six row configuration. So it could be configured in different with different row spacings and so on. But then we just have the hoppers on. It was designed for sugar beets back in the day. So each unit can contain around 1 hectare or 2.5 acres of sugar beet seeds. Okay. So one robot like this in this configuration could do 6 hectares or 15 acres of sugar beet in a day, and then you have to go refill it.
Solar powered?
Solar powered, all solar powered. We're from Denmark ourselves, where the sun doesn't always shine as much. That's the same in Canada, I presume. But even though the solar energy is enough to keep the robot running at daytime, even if it's a cloudy day like we have today outside here. If it's a sunny day, the robot will run 24 hours a day only on solar. So when the sun goes down, it will just start running off the batteries.
Okay, so let's say we're in weed removal. We're doing the mechanical weed removal, or we're doing some spot spraying. What kind of acreage or how many hectares can we do in a day?
So in a day, the robot can do up to 6.5 hectares per day, which would equivalent to 15, 17 acres, I think, something like that a day. It depends a little bit on different configurations, the seed configurations, the spacing between the seeds. The smaller the spacing is, the slower we have to go for the precision. But other than that, around these 6 hectares or 15 acres a day.
Okay, so you mentioned that if we were using it as a seeder, it remembers where it put each seed, so it knows where the plants are. That's very helpful at weed removal time. What if we used a more conventional unit to seed our crop and then wanted to use this for weed removal? Can it detect where those plants are and do the mechanical weed removal?
Yeah, so we have, as I said, we just had our latest addition is the camera system on the robot. Okay. The problem with the reason why FarmDroid has been quite successful with selling our machines and why we have the concept of us remembering the position of the seeds is that if you do transplant of vegetables, let's say, then a camera works quite well because they recognize the pattern and then they know where to weed and where not to. Yeah. If you direct seed something like we would do with, it could be sugar beets or onions or something like that, it's very difficult because the weeds will grow at the same time, so there's no pattern for the camera to recognize. So that's where the remembering of the plant comes in handy. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So where do you see this product going in the future? What are some of the next innovations that you're excited about or thinking about?
So right now we started selling in Canada since last year, but in Europe in general, I'd say our main focus has been on organic sugar beet, which there's not a lot of in Canada, but also organic onions, beetroot, and so on, vegetables. So that is still our main market as now. But with the spot spraying as an addition now, then we are looking more and more into the conventional side of business. It will be conventional, still be some high-value crops like sugar beets or vegetables or something like that. But definitely moving more into, it could also be corn, soy or something like that.
I know you're working through dealers, but what would a robot like this cost the farmer?
I think in Canadian, it would be something, it depends a lot on the configuration, right, and the add-ons, but I think it's something, a rough estimate would be around 100,000 Canadian or something like that.
Okay. And in Europe, are farmers buying one of them, or do they have multiple of them?
Yeah, it depends a lot. Actually, we have our customer stories rolling here behind us on the TV, and we have several farmers who have 4 or 5 machines, especially in eastern Germany where they have bigger fields. Not compared to Canada, they have even bigger fields. But it depends a lot on some farmers. They will use one robot for multiple different crops. So they would use one machine for maybe 5 different crops of vegetables, whereas others they would have 5 robots running in 250 acres of sugar beet or something like that.
And if you had 4 of these, do they work can they work in a swarm concept?
Yeah, so it's something we're looking more into, but it's just a simple software thing. Okay. So it's something that could easily be updated. But it's you could easily put multiple robots into the same field and then sort of swap the data between them.
Okay. Well, Eddie, thanks a lot for joining us. Really appreciate it. Good luck with Agritechnica.
Thank you.